Alright guys, so we're not even at Thanksgiving yet, and we already have our first clutch for 2024. Basically the way you kind of do that is, you know, if they're laid and they don't hatch until the following year, I usually just mark them as being, you know, for the next season. But this is kind of an exciting clutch. It's nothing too crazy, but as you can see here, this female's extremely pretty. She's a super inchy butter desert ghost. I actually tried to sell her early in the summer, but nobody wanted her. So I ended up keeping her and breeding her to my super orange dream inchy yellow belly leopard fire pied male that I got from Aussie. So really I'm making double hets with this, double het DGs and pieds. But there's going to be a lot of genetics going on in there. I can possibly create orange dream, super inchy, leopard, yellow belly, butterfire. I mean, these could be like 7 gene animals, which is kind of insane considering that they're both all going to be 100% desert ghost and pied. So I'm going to get her weighed real quick, get her washed off and put into a new tub, and then I'm going to take a look at these eggs. Alright, so she ends up being around 1,200 grams after laying. These eggs are 630 grams. Typically, when I have my clutches and the female's healthy, regardless of how many eggs they lay, they're still usually around 100 grams or so. It's usually kind of the mark that I see when the clutches are healthy. If your female's laying eggs that are significantly smaller than that, for the most part, I would say you probably need to do a better job of taking care of those females before they actually breed. I don't think any of my more successful clutches, the females were super small and the eggs were any smaller than 100 grams a piece. So, I mean, this is 6 eggs and the total weight was 630, so they're all over, a little over 100 grams on average, which gives you a better shot of these actually being healthy eggs, them hatching, and not having any issues. And then the babies even being bigger when they're hatching. You know, when you have small eggs to begin with, it means the babies are going to be small. And usually when you have smaller babies, you know, there could be a little harder to get on the food. It can give you more issues. So, as far as this clutch goes, I'm going to shut this light off real quick. I was just, I tried selling her for like a decent price last year because the market's so crazy, nobody was buying her. So I thought, well, she's still useful. I have this male who could go and get some work done. So I'm just going to pair them up. And she literally became grabbed within a month or two. It was kind of insane how quickly she was kind of ready to go. And that just kind of proves to you when your females are ready, they're ready. She wasn't a big girl to begin with. She was probably, I would say, around 1,800 grams, but she ate consistently. She just wasn't big. And he was ready to go at that point. This is probably the 4th or 5th clutch he actually sired for me this season. But, you know, when your girls are ready to go, they're ready to go. So you don't want to waste that. I mean, I could have held off for another year and bred her this year or kept trying to sell her. But then the issue with that is you're wasting a season with that girl. And at this point, you know, she's ready to go. She laid a bunch of eggs. So far, they all look healthy. And that kind of would have been wasting a season on her. You know, I had a couple people in my Patreon say that they were contemplating not breeding anything or as much this season. And I said, well, everybody, that's kind of the whole issue we're running into right now is everybody's breeding too much, right? There are too many clutches that are way too basic. And, but you don't want to quit breeding the clutches that are actually going to help build your future and move your projects further along. So I highly suggest against breeding stuff that everybody else is making, that, you know, isn't recessive, that there's 10,000 of on Morph Market. But if you have a project you're working on that's maybe higher end, that is going to help move your projects along further, you should still go ahead and breed that, because there's still some use in that, and you could be setting your projects back by years if you don't end up breeding that. So I don't have a whole lot of DG pied stuff, and I actually only have 2 females that are in the DG pied project. I don't have any males that have genes to make DG pied right now. But I have 2 Super Orange Dream Desert Ghost Het Pied females. I don't really even plan on getting a DG Pied male this year. What I plan on doing is, I have these eggs, and I hope I hit a lot of really cool females here, and I hold those back. With those Super OD DG Het Pied females, what I probably plan on doing is breeding it to a Clown Pied male. And I have a Super Orange Dream Yellow Belly Fire Clown Pied male. So when they produce babies, everything is going to be 100% Het Clown, 100% Het Desert Ghost, and 50% of them should be visual pieds, and the other 50% should be 100% Het Pied. So at the very worst, I'm getting 100% triple hets, Desert Ghost, Clown Pied. At the best, I'm getting visual pied, double het, 100% Clown Desert Ghost. On top of that, every single baby in that clutch, either one of those clutches, is going to be Super OD. And on top of that, we also have Yellow Belly and Fire in the mix. So those babies, that's something where I'm definitely looking at keeping a male out of, and probably all of the females out of, because it gets you in the DG Clown Pied project. But so I make a male out of that, and let's say I get a Super OD Yellow Belly Fire Pied double het Clown DG. Well, so that male I take, I grow him up. By the time I get babies, females out of this clutch, and they're starting to grow up, a male from that clutch should be ready around the same time that a female from these clutches will. They're completely unrelated as well. And then I'm breeding a Super OD Pied double het DG Clown to, let's say, a Super Inchy Orange Dream Leopard Yellow Belly Fire double het DG Pied, and maybe a couple of them. So that is just a bunch of genes that you're working into a project like that. That is the sort of thing that you need to be breeding for, because everybody's not making 6 gene DG Pieds that are going to be Het Clown. That's a very, very, very far down the road for most people. And if you can get to that part in your project creation, you're going to be really, really, really kind of stepping up your game. So don't quit breeding altogether because the market's a little down. Just make sure you're selectively breeding the stuff that moves your projects forward.